When you say leftist historians have conveniently ignored the contribution of the Vanavasi community, of course, there may be enough proof to sort of prove light towards that particular angle. But when you look at the Maoist infiltration into the Vanavasi community and how Maoist guerrillas have unleashed a scathing wave of violence over the last 60 to 70 years, then it proves otherwise. So my question to you is, why did the radical left, be so successful among these communities in some parts of India?
It was because, if you ask me, it was because India's growth was uneven. Unfortunately, it's only now that we are realizing that each part of the country, each of the 726 districts of the country needs an equal amount of
Right.
development, or the development needs to be equitably distributed across the country. So not just the tribal areas, even the entire Northeast had been ignored for years. There are so many parts of Jammu and Kashmir which did not have electricity till about 5 years back.
Right.
So I think it was largely a problem of myopic administration, where city-bred Delhi-centric leaders never bothered to know what was happening in the interiors. So obviously, the lack of belongingness which the tribal community felt made them easy prey, not just to the Naxals, but also once again to the missionaries.
Right.
And unfortunately, this was supported by some sly political parties which work for vested political interests. So I think in Andhra Pradesh today, the conversions in tribal areas are institutionalized. It happens because of the state chief minister.
Right.
There are a couple of other chief ministers who are hand in glove with these. But these, narrow political gains often do a lot of damage to the country, which we later realized because, if you breed snakes in your backyard, whether it is the LET or whether it is Naxals, homebred Naxals, eventually they rip you apart. So I think as a party, I'm glad the BJP has a very unequivocal nationalist stand. So apart from crushing Naxals, the more important thing that we are doing right now is to ensure that every district, no matter how backward the district is, gets an equitable, the development happens equitably across those districts. But for example, the Nal Se Jal scheme is specifically designed for the most backward districts. And I think the biggest beneficiaries would be the tribals. All of these would eventually develop a sense of belongingness in them that would help them shun the influences of Naxals and missionaries.
Do you think this is one of the reasons why the number of districts that are affected by leftist violence has decreased over the last 5-7 years?
See,
or is it because there is a change of security strategy? What would you attribute this to?
Let me put it this way: the BJP has zero tolerance as a party, and I would say that even if I were not, a member of the party, I think the governance models between the two parties are very clear. When it comes to national security, when it comes to law and order, I think the BJP is absolutely uncompromising. One of the reasons why, as a concerted strategy, Naxalism has been crushed almost across the country, whether it is Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh. But even now, sporadic incidents do take place. I think, it's very difficult for a country of the size of India to do away with all its problems.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.